Hello. Good to see you.
Well, hello there, Revenants. Welcome back to Code Vein. Today we're going to be talking about the Forgotten Devil, or as I usually call them, the Big Purples. So these guys are literally everywhere in these respective areas of the game. These guys right here. These are called the Forgotten Devils, and they don't look too happy. They are typically in groups of like 2 or 3. His poor left foot here. Don't know exactly what's going on there. But these guys are pretty weird. They come in all kinds of varieties here with their weapons. They have halberds, they have guns, they have one-handed swords, and two-handed swords. These guys don't come in hammer flavors, unfortunately. But they are pretty formidable foes in what they are, but once you know their resistances and their weaknesses, they basically evaporate before you in a very fast kind of a way. So these guys, they have a minus 10% resist to slash, they have a plus 10% resist to crush, and they have a 0% resist to pierce. For our guns, we have a damage value of 905, and you can see that he does not resist that in any way. And now for our slash, we have a 10% bonus, 965, and as you can see here, we're at 974, so you know that there is some bonus damage that we're getting overall. And so for pierce, obviously we have the 0% resist, so we get good damage there. And if you're going for a slash, these guys kind of disappear pretty quickly. But if we go back here for just a second, you'll notice that there becomes, whoops, not this way. There becomes quite a few of them when they travel in big packs and big numbers, but because their backstab ability here is so generous and so forgiving, they really don't stand a chance if you do happen to get them backstabbed. But you can see here's one here, there's one around the corner. These guys typically come in groups of like 2s and 3s and such. And so this guy, you see he's a one-handed sword user. We just saw the gun user, and then we have and then we have this fella, another one-handed sword user, and you can find them with their different varieties and flavors of weapons in the Ashen Tavern as well. You can find them in the Arachnid Grotto. You can find them in the Dried Up Trenches. You find them in lots and lots and lots and lots of places in Vein, and so it's important to know who they are and what they are. So I believe they are down this this direction for the actual boss fight, if I remember right. I typically don't fight these guys, so it's kind of hard to remember which ones are where, but I think this is the other ones. Okay, and I think it's to the right here, but these guys are not too incredibly difficult. So come on, let's go. So for their element weaknesses, they have, oh, this is the Snouted Wanderers. They have a 0% resist to fire, a 0% resist to lightning, a minus 10% resist to blood, and a minus 30% resist to ice. So if you're going for these fellas, go for ice and blood. And here is the boss arena. There is only one of them that is on the timer for you, and the others are just kind of here for annoying you. And so minus 30% for ice, minus 10% for blood, 0% for fire, and 0% for lightning. These guys have about 7,500 HP here at max difficulty, and they are susceptible to all the status debuffs. So let's get in here, and you can see that these guys will kind of disappear fairly quickly because they have a very low health pool, but you can see that they do hit very hard. We do have the Ivory Grace on, which does not have very good pierce resist, but we are able to take them out, whoops, very quickly. Oh, excuse me. Had to sneeze there. So when you're fighting these guys, go for as much slash as you possibly can, and you will do exceptionally well. So if we happen to go for an ice variant, I don't have an ice, there we go, we'll go for the Sunset Sword, and you can do, which way was it? Yeah, it was this way. You can do these guys very well, very easily. Okay, and you'll see here that the amount of damage that we're doing is significant, even though we are, oh, whoops, but again, they hit like trucks with what we have running here. But you can see the damage is fairly significant even at a 600 value on the card damage, and that's all due to the fact that you're doing ice damage, and they go down very fast when you're running ice. Oh, whoops, I didn't want to get a backstab there, but you can see if you're running these guys, I mean, that's just an incredible amount of damage, very fast. So let's see if we can get this guy taken care of here. Okay, there you go. And as you can see, he did not have the 7,500 HP value. He goes up to about 10,500 because he has a sword variant. He is not a bayonet wielder. The bayonet wielders do have a much lower health pool, and so that is why you see the discrepancy there. So it depends on what weapon they have, and which and what kind of health, whoops, and what kind of health they're going to have. It all depends on what weapon they have there. So I'm glad we got to see that, so you guys could actually see that portion of the health pool for these guys. Okay, and Mr. Forgotten Devil, and if you get a backstab, you mitigate their iframes and everything. And you can see here that you know, it goes very fast when you are one-on-one, and these guys can be taken out very quickly. And so watch out for which weapon they're using. Watch out for which kind of attack pattern they're going for, because these guys are basically everywhere, and you can see the red ones are around as well. Let's see, I don't think these things are over here. This is just a red one. Yeah, whoops. Okay, whoops. Anyways, I don't know what I'm doing over here anyways, but so they are susceptible to all the status debuffs, but you definitely want to go for stun on these guys. You want to go for stun first, then slow, then inhibit, then venom. They do have some pretty heavy venom resist, and so you don't want, whoops, wrong direction, sorry guys. So going for stun on these guys is exceptional, because they will just stun very quickly. And I'll show you here just how fast they can stun if you build it up pretty easily here. So if we go for stun and whoops, and stun and a stun cartridge, okay, and watch how fast this guy stuns off of what we have here. 1, 2. So you can just constantly go for you know, stun on these guys. Very easy, very fast, and they can completely be nullified very quickly, just because of the stun debuff here. And you, oh, whoops, and you can see that it really does make a difference in your attack suite with these guys. And these guys are sort of similar, they are different, so we will cover them in their own video as well. but you can see that they are fairly similar to the Forgotten Devils, and they are different, so don't confuse them in you know, different regards. So as you can see, these are pretty simple enemies overall. It's just that when you find them, they're typically in groups of 2 and 3, and so let's go over to the dried up trenches. Let's see. We'll go to the frozen seabed. And these guys, I mean, they rarely travel in singles. These guys are in the memories. They're in the dried up trenches. They're in the Ashen Cavern. They're in the depths of the Arachnid Grotto in the Cliffs of Rust. They're in, let's see, they're in several places. So you find them quite a bit. So knowing their defenses, their weaknesses, and kind of some tactics for them, it really does help you to understand what you're getting into, just to make sure that you're not you know, caught off guard by these guys, because they will absolutely ruin you if you give them the chance. And this guy, we just have to eliminate him before we get up here. Okay, so let's go for stun. There we go. Okay, very good. Let's go for some of these here. Okay, and you'll see that when we get up here, there happens to be indeed 2 of them all at once here, and these guys have one-handed swords as well. And you can see their leaping attack for the one-handed swords. Ouch, and they'll oh, okay, whoops. And that guy was doing his charge up attack where he leans way back and then he goes forward. And during that attack, he has significant damage reduction. I will show you here if we can get him to behave appropriately. But the sad thing is we have to get rid of this guy every time. There is another Forgotten Devil somewhere where we can get to him easily, but this is the fastest way to get to these guys through the Snouted Wanderer here, but it's kind of unfortunate. There we go. Okay, got rid of this guy, and let's go ahead and just draw these guys up, and let's then run over here. Okay, where that thing cannot shoot us, and these guys can then join us one-on-one here. Okay, so they have just their regular sword slashes. Oops. Let's go ahead and heal that accidentally. Yeah, that jumping attack is absolutely horrible because it has incredible range. Ouch. Okay. And I want them to do the drawback attack, that attack right there. Whoops, I couldn't see it there. There we go. There's the drawback. Oh, whoops. I didn't want to get a backstab. That is not what I wanted to do. They do that attack though fairly often, so you can expect it most times. There it is. 597. Okay, and I will show you here. So we're at 754, and let's just drop down here. So 597. So yeah, they have a 20% damage reduction during that phase, and so watch out for that. It's not an incredible amount of damage reduction, but it definitely does mess you up a little bit on your engagement patterns with these guys. So watch out for that as well. Let's see. Okay, I think we covered everything here for these guys. It's kind of an interesting battle with these, with what I call the big purples, the Forgotten Devils, and they do go down pretty easily though. So remember, slash, ice, and blood, and stun, and you can take these guys out like really, really, really quickly with really no effort or thought. Slash, ice, blood, stun. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you in the next one for the Blood-Soaked Devils.